Welcome to Kane Hunter's Tales. Hello, brave listeners. Tonight we tell a tale of truth, of crisis, of humanity, and what some will do to get a truth out there for the masses. Tonight, we talk about how they move in the shadows, whispering behind closed doors, shaping the fate of nations without ever being seen. To the world, they are myths, conspiracy, nothing more than the fevered imaginings of the paranoid. But beneath the surface, behind every war, every economic collapse, every unexpected shift in power, their hands pull the strings. This is the story of the cult that never wanted to be known, yet controls everything you thought was yours.
As we sit in our comfortable homes watching our feel-good television shows, eating our warm and tasty meals, we are blinded to the ongoings around us. As we speak, there is a subtle and yet insidious force that has taken root. It isn't a government nor a corporation, but a cult of global dominance, desperate to control all. This cult, known only as the Order of Eucundus, didn't preach fiery sermons or demand ritualistic sacrifice. Their weapon was far more subtle, the suppression of critical thought. Through carefully crafted media narratives, manipulated educational systems, and the subtle encouragement of mindless entertainment, they had lulled the world into a state of complacent obedience. Professor Daniel Riggins was an archivist. He spent his days buried in dusty books and forgotten documents. But unlike most, Daniel possessed an insatiable curiosity and a keen eye for inconsistencies. He started noticing a pattern in the historical records. Dissenting voices, revolutionary ideas, and groundbreaking discoveries, all systematically erased or subtly altered. He noticed that social media, though appearing diverse, was filled with the same opinions repeated over and over. Dissenting opinions were met with ridicule and silencing. The Order's methods were vast. Firstly, media manipulation by controlling the flow of information, educational indoctrination by suppressing critical thinking skills, social engineering by ways of encouraging conformity and discouraging dissent, technological control using algorithms to shape online narratives, and economic leverage by rewarding compliance and punishing nonconformity. The Order of Eucundus worked from the shadows. They didn't need armies or police forces. Their power lay in the minds of the people. By subtly shaping their perceptions and limiting their access to alternative viewpoints, they had effectively enslaved the world without anyone even realizing it. Daniel's research showed how the great thinkers of the past were slowly being forgotten, replaced by vapid celebrities and meaningless trends. History was being rewritten to promote a narrative of unwavering obedience and unquestioning faith in the status quo. Anything outside of this was ridiculed. Fueled by his discoveries, Daniel began to question everything. He started seeking out others who shared his doubts, individuals who felt the subtle pressure to conform, but couldn't quite explain why. They were artists, scientists, and philosophers, all marginalized by the prevailing culture of conformity. Together, they formed a small resistance, a secret society dedicated to uncovering the truth and exposing the Order of Eucundus. Their first task was to find proof, irrefutable evidence of the cult's existence and its manipulative tactics. They discovered hidden server farms where information was being altered. They discovered how AI programs pushed subtly adjusted opinions into people's social media feeds. It was a daunting task, but they pushed on, driven by the hope of restoring freedom of thought to the world. After months of painstaking research, Daniel and his allies uncovered the Order's central communication hub, a hidden server farm located beneath a seemingly innocuous corporate headquarters. They managed to infiltrate the system and download a massive archive of data, revealing the full extent of the cult's influence and its intricate methods of manipulation. The data confirmed their worst fears. The Order of Jucundus controlled the flow of information, manipulated educational systems, and used advanced technology to shape public opinion. They had even developed subtle neuro-linguistic programming techniques embedded in popular media, designed to reinforce obedience and suppress critical thought. Armed with this evidence, Daniel and his team launched a counter-offensive. They leaked the data to independent journalists, academics, and activists, exposing the Order of Jucundus to the world. The revelation sparked a global awakening. People began to question the narratives they had been fed, to think for themselves, and to resist the pressure to conform. However, the Order fought back, using its vast resources to discredit the evidence and silence those who dissent. But the truth had been unleashed, and it could not be contained. A new generation, inspired by Daniel's courage, rose up to challenge the cult of conformity and reclaim their freedom of thought. The fight was far from over, but for the first time in a long time there was hope. The world was beginning to remember what it meant to be truly free, to think for oneself and to question everything. The darkness was receding, and the light of reason was beginning to dawn.
Well, 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 wasn't that a rude awakening? The importance of critical thinking. Professor Daniel Rigging's story serves as a cautionary tale and a call to action. It reminds us that freedom of thought is not a given, but a constant struggle. You must be vigilant against those who seek to control your minds, to suppress your dissent, and to lull you into a state of complacent obedience. You must cultivate critical thinking skills, seek out diverse perspectives, and never be afraid to question the narratives you are presented with. For in the battle for your minds, your greatest weapon is your ability to think for yourselves. Hopefully this tale has given you food for thought. If it has, leave a comment about what you think. Is there a global dominant force reliant on the obedience of the masses? How would you fight back against the Order of Jucundus? Like and subscribe to this channel if you have enjoyed this content. Maybe share this video with someone whose eyes remain closed to the world around them. And remember, be aware of all you see around you. Who knows what mental programming spells you are under? Until next time, stay rebellious.